Now, Walter Mikac doesn't talk publicly very often. Walter lost his wife Nanette and his children Lana and Madeline at Port Arthur. I've known him since those days. I remember talking to him very soon after those days. He was instrumental in setting up the Lana and Madeline Foundation, which continues its good work today. Walter doesn't talk publicly very often because he's moved on with his life, as he should, and I respect that. But he has decided to speak now because of a frustration, I guess, over the situation in the United States. And I would hope even the United States listens to this. Walter Mikac, good morning.
Good morning, Neil.
Now, Walter, what we're going to do is take this and send it to the US ambassador and ask him somehow to pass it on to the president, even though the president thinks it's right, but pass it on to the president to perhaps get the message out more strongly to his legislature. What is your message to the Americans?
Well, I see it as such a hard thing to reconcile that they can continue to have these massacres happen, and when some of the early happened, like say Columbine, it was front page news and it was worldwide front page news. Now when it happens, it's not even making the front pages anymore, and it never seems to be the guns that are the issue. And you look at some of the other countries in the world where, well, even Canada, say, which is their neighbour, and the rates of murder by firearms are minute there compared to the States. So there's this continual argument that it's the guns that kill people and not people. But if the guns are not there, it's not going to happen.
You rarely speak publicly these days. This has motivated you that much, has it?
Well, it has, because I suppose in setting up the foundation and trying to change the gun laws here, it was a case of trying to protect future people, children and adults as well, from not having to be in that situation. I still often read that interview I did where I say, well, I don't want this to happen to anyone again, because I know the pain that's involved, and you don't want that to happen. So my motivation is for the children and the families of those that are going to happen next time in the States, where it might be as bad, it might be worse, and any of those people in the future who are going to be saying, why didn't they act then? Why didn't they do it? Why isn't the population just outraged that nothing is happening?
When we had that first meeting, we talked about, and it was in our boardroom, the old building, and the gay fiddler was there, and a whole lot of people, and we talked about two things. We talked about helping and protecting children and making the world a safer place for kids in particular, and we talked about remembering Alana and Madeline forever. Well, a lot of that's been achieved. They are remembered forever, your daughters, aren't they?
They are, yeah. And that's, yeah. I suppose I can't. It's hard to express how heartened that makes me feel, because as time goes by, their name gets spoken about less and less, and to know that in the wider community that the foundation's there and that it's being put to good use all the time is great.
You're interviewing the Herald Sun today, and you say you still sort of talk to Alana and Madeline occasionally. Is that right, or is that?
No, that's correct. What do
you say to them?
I just say, look, I'm not doing too well here. I'm being grumpy. I'm being a bit of a shit, and I'm making life difficult for people around me. And give me a bit of a kick along and kick up the bum, and let me actually perform well for everyone around me.
And they do that?
Yeah, I think so.
You get the kick in the bum?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
So that. See, this is what people don't understand. It's there forever, isn't it? And you'll have those down times and those tough times. You've got a great life now, you've got a great family, and you're getting on with all sorts of things, professionally and personally. But occasionally you just be down.
Well, it's part of the life cycle, I suppose. You have your part of grief and about part of life that sometimes you're going to have that loss, and it's a case of it's there, but you can still function, and you can still make good things happen despite that, and despite that you might not be feeling great on a day, to be able to come out and spread a message or help someone in the street, or just a random act of kindness, and people look at that and they go, oh, that's excellent. They look at you quite surprised that might happen. And if more of that happened day to day, it would be a better place.
You've certainly achieved some good in the days since those awful days. I wish you well, and we'll get the tape to the United States, and who knows what will happen.
Great.
we can be hopeful.
We can. Thanks, Neil.
Talk